Skydiving. What is skydiving? So you strap a bag on your back, you board a plane, you're flying to 10,000 feet, laughing and smiling, and suddenly the door opens and you're like, ooh, time to jump. And the next thing you know, you've taken a jump. You've taken a leap. The air is hitting your face, it's cold, it's heavy, and you're like, wow, I'm flying through the skies. My name is Rudra Bhanu Solanki, and I'm the founder of Skyhigh India, India's only skydiving company. One of the questions that I often ask, which anybody should, is that why would anybody jump out of a perfectly good aeroplane? And here's my answer. Those who don't jump will never fly. Well, my journey started here in school. I was in the 7th class, and I joined in Jankoji House, moved on to Jayaji House, and the only thing I knew when I joined school is that I would have the opportunity to do horse riding. I was a very fond rider before I joined school, and I would have access to a lot of fun activities. Once in school, I was participating in debates, elocution, band, brass band, chess, and I thought I was very smart because I could bunk a lot of classes and I would miss school and I would go out. What I didn't know is that I was not running away from school, I was falling into the idea of boarding school. And now I realize today that a large part of who I am was shaped right here in school. Coming back to skydiving, let me show you what my personal 14 years have been about.
Once upon a younger year, when all our shadows disappeared, the animals inside came out to play. Went face to face with all our fears, learned our lessons through the tears, made memories we knew would never fade. One day my father, he told me, son, don't let it slip away. He took me in his arms, I heard him say, when you get older, your wild heart will live for younger days. Think of me if ever you're afraid. He said one day you'll leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember. My father told me when I was just a child, these are the nights that never die. My father told me. Light a fire they can't put out, carve your name into those shining stars. He said go venture far beyond the shores, don't forsake this life of yours. I'll guide you home no matter where you are. One day my father, he told me, son, don't let it slip away. When I was just a kid I heard him say, when you get older your wild heart will live for younger days. Think of me if ever you're afraid.
Okay. So that was about me. Now let me tell you about the business. So right after school, I joined my father's business. He was setting up a flying training institute where we train pilots, people who pursue a career in civil aviation to go on to become pilots. Somehow I didn't want to get into the business. I wanted to do something more, something different. So I explored skydiving. Now the thing is that as a child, I always knew that one day in my life I will go skydiving, and that I would do it once in my life, of course, and that I would travel to America to do it. So, sometime in college, I managed to convince my father and say that, you know, there's this course in Arizona that I want to sign up for, and somehow managed to convince him to sponsor that course, sent me to the US, and next thing I know, here I am in Arizona learning skydiving. Now, once I started jumping, the facility, the whole infrastructure, I was like, I can't believe something like this doesn't exist in India. How is that possible that something like this doesn't exist in India? So I was like, India mein skydiving start karte. Kya hai? Back in the flying school, we already had aircrafts. So I said, aircrafts hain, parachute khareed lenge and skydiving shuru. Now, the course itself in Arizona was hard. And the reason it was hard is that before I went up for the course, I had played it up so much in my mind and so much in my head that I was actually very nervous during the course. In fact, at one point, one of my instructors, he pointed to me mid-air and he just pointed like gave me a signal to smile. And once we landed, he just told me, hey man, I think you're flying fine, learn to enjoy it, it only lasts for a very short time. And I realized what he said not only changed the way I flew, but the way I live my life. Because life is really short and we need to learn to enjoy it. Anyway, I finished my course in Arizona. I came back to India fully charged with the idea कि हम India में skydiving start करेंगे. Somehow in the year 2013, I managed to get permissions to jump in the Scindia school. And with the help of few SOBA people and the help of other SOBA people who are not here, we managed to get the permissions. And the next thing I know, Founders Day, the stage is set. I jump from a plane, look at this beautiful fort, and I'm landing into the Madhav Pavilion. The crowds, the claps, I mean, my family watching, the whole school watching, all the old boys watching. I was like, boss, abhi pahunch gaye. I mean, I have arrived, and this is it. Ab mujhe zindagi mein yehi karna hai. So, I went back only to realize कि India में skydiving के लिए regulation नहीं था. So when I started interacting with the DGCA, which is the nodal body for aviation in India, the challenge was that the law was against skydiving. The law was designed so that people are safe in the sky, not jumping out of planes. So in the next few years, we actually had to work on a policy within the law to break the law. Because the idea was that we were going to jump from a plane, we were going to open the plane mid-air, the door mid-air, and jump out of it. Now, it took us about 2 to 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, to get into this policy. And finally, I was traveling the world, trying to understand commercial skydiving worldwide on how it is done in the US, how it is done in Spain and other parts of the world, trying to bring back expats and things that make sense here in India. And finally, in the year 2016, we got permissions to start because we got affiliated to the United States Parachuting Association. The United States Parachuting Association is the world's largest body for skydiving. We, of course, use the equipment, which is also American. The equipment itself is very, very sophisticated. There is a main parachute, there is a reserve parachute, and there's also something known as an automatic activation device. That device is designed to deploy your parachute if you're, in case you fail to deploy your parachute. So statistically, skydiving is one of the safest extreme sports in the world. We finally get the permissions in 2016, and I'm like, bas, abhi shuru ho gaya, abhi set ho gaye. So the operation started, but the operation, of course, comes with a whole new set of challenges. There's aircraft maintenance, there is ATC coordination, there is equipment coordination. I mean, finding customers. Who would believe कि India में skydiving safe है? So it started with my wife. She's not my wife then, but it started with my best friend, my wife now, my sister, my family, a few Scindians who believed in the idea कि okay, somehow under my watch, they're going to board a plane, jump out of the plane, land safely back in the ground. They're going to be alive in this whole process. And at the end of this process, it's going to be a fun experience. It was these videos that we made that finally actually went on to social media and people started exploring and understanding and started relating to skydiving. And that's how the business started growing. 2 years into the business, around 2018, I was like, wow, great. This is awesome. Life is doing good. And suddenly, one fine day, we get a notice from the government to stop the operation. I personally felt like my world had fallen apart. I mean, just imagine 6 years of effort, 3 to 4 years with government on paperwork and 2 years of operation, one notice, operation shut. I really felt like my world was going to fall apart, probably did. And it took me about 7 or 8 months just to recover from that shock. I was in a really, really bad place. What I realize now is that sometimes when you fail, you're getting pushed into something that you're not aware of, something that's so beautiful that you're just not ready yet and you have no idea what you're getting into. Determined not to give up, I started exploring new locations on where skydiving can exist. And during that process, I met my co-founder, Digvijay, and together we were like, okay, it's failed in one location, let's look for another location. We found an airstrip in Haryana. It was a runway built many years ago, and it was just a runway. There was no boundary wall, there was no ATC, nothing. And the runway was only used for cattle grazing, yoga, and morning walks. With the help of the government, we managed to get permissions to start operations there. And 8 or 9 years later now, we run India's only full-time skydiving facility at Narnaul. In about 8 years of operations, we've been to multiple locations. We've done about 8,000 tandem jumps, and we've done jumps over Taj Mahal, over a lot of other places. And let me show you what the business is like. In my childhood, I had a dream to go skydiving. And in that dream and thought, I also knew that I will have to travel to the US for skydiving. In the year 2011, I signed up for a course and went to Skydive, Arizona. And during my course, I just couldn't fathom how something like this didn't exist in India. So, I took it upon myself to start skydiving in India. 9 years ago, I started India's only skydiving drop zone, and Skyhigh was born.
The journey so far has been nothing short of magical. We've done tandem skydives, we've done solo jumps and demonstrations all across the country. In the past 9 years, we've managed to do in excess of 7,000 tandem skydives with a 100% safety record. But the moment that gives me the most amount of pleasure is when I come to the drop zone, watching people land.
Amazing thing. It is damn safe. Their instructors are too good, their divers are too good.
जन्नत अगर कहीं है तो स्काई हाई में है ऊपर.
Extremely amazing.
I need to spend 2 minutes for relax.
मतलब अलग ही एक्सपीरियंस है.
हिंदुस्तान के बहुत सारे एडवेंचर लवर्स के लिए ये एक पॉइंट ऑफ अट्रैक्शन बनेगा. आई विश ऑल द बेस्ट.
I think I enjoyed the free fall the most, the jump and then the lapping. That's my favorite part.
Thank you. That was absolutely brilliant. You're fantastic, man.
Skydiving now is ready for something big. We managed to take skydiving to 8 different locations. Ironically though, my journey as an entrepreneur has been about everything else except for skydiving. Falling into purpose is not what you imagine. It's what you really want deep inside of you. I mean, setting goals is in your hands, but the journey to that goal is one of dedication, discipline, and a lot of sacrifice. I started with the idea of fun and adventure, but my journey has been very, very serious. Today, skydiving in India is still at a very small scale. I mean, we are the only company in such a large country with 150 crores ka population. But I'm determined to make sure that skydiving and aero-sports in India is now on the world map and that we are at par with other locations like Dubai, Thailand, and New Zealand. Skydiving now for me is about freedom. It's about the ability to ask why not. It's about building your dreams, and it's about doing what it takes to build your dreams. In the end, I just want to say that once you jump out of a plane, you're either falling to the earth or flying through the sky. The choice is yours on how you look at it. I prefer to fly, and I hope you too. Thank you.